It's Media Day here inside Trask Coliseum, UNCW men's basketball. First look at some of the players as they get their team picture taken, and a chance for us to preview the season ahead. We'll talk to Coach and a couple players as well. Mike Vaccaro here alongside Marty Fear, getting you set for another season. Certainly some lofty goals for this team, expectations higher. Marty coming off a championship last year. And let's start there. Last season, everything came together for this team. Such an incredible run for them. Great leaders on this program as well to get a championship, the first in the career so far for Takeo Sido as a head coach, and certainly a fun season for everybody.
It really was, and defending champion sounds really good for this program. But with that, the expectations are raised. You mentioned the leadership. Obviously, 6 players return, but some core leadership returns. Like anything else in college basketball, it seems like every year is kind of a reset. It'll be a reset in Wilmington as well.
Yeah, you talk about the leadership. Noah Ross, Nolan Hodge, obviously 4-year players now for UNCW. I'm sure they'll look to them for leadership because you had guys like Donovan Newby, the most outstanding player in the championship game. He's now graduated. He's gone. So some different roles maybe for some of those returning players this year.
So let's flash back to this day last year. And Takeo said, we have some key players that understand the culture of this program. And part of the early practices, part of the early games is to kind of express to the new guys what the culture's like here. And you've got that again as some of the key players you made mention. They understand the culture, and not only on the court but off the court, they've got to explain exactly what the expectations are.
And some of the new players, they know about the culture because they were on the other side of the ledger last year. A number of players on this year's team that transferred from within the conference. So, hey, a plus that they are familiar with this program, familiar some of them with playing here as well, but now they're wearing Seahawk Navy and Teal.
And doesn't that speak well for this program? Because a number of them experience what it's like to play on the other side at Trask. Now they get to be part of the program. But that's interesting because obviously not only are they transferring in, they had impact on their former teams, and of course you're trying to bring that same impact into Trask Coliseum this upcoming winter and fall.
Yeah, C.J. Luster Jr., one of those guys who was preseason first-team all-conference this year, as it's announced earlier today. He's a transfer from Stony Brook. Last year, a big factor was the size that they had. Continued size this year. I think Takeo Sido liked that and maybe improved upon that size this year.
Yeah, I think it's a little different size too. Maybe not as much bulk as far as size, but I think you have more size through several players. I think it'll help the rotation. And again, in the CAA, size does matter, especially if you can go 1, 2, 3 deep.
Yeah, certainly that was a factor a season ago. And again, this year, reigning champs, you're going to have that bullseye on you night in and night out. When you look at that in this team, coming here, expectations, as we said, are high for them, but the fans are excited about things going on this year as well.
Yeah, and that obviously not only helps as far as ticket sales, but as support, financial support for this program. You mentioned the expectations, a record number of home games for this program.
Yeah, 20 home games this season. I've talked to some other people as well. Again, in today's college athletics, players are going to come and go, but to have some consistency in your coaching staff, and we'll talk to him a little bit later, but Takeo Sido coming back for his 6th season and a core of his assistant coaches who have been with him for 4+ years. That's a big bonus as well.
Yeah, and I think you have to give some credit to the administration that saw the scenario and went out and made sure that this coaching staff had the ability to stay intact for another year.
So again, lofty goals, lofty expectations here for UNCW men's basketball this season. Media Day inside Trask Coliseum. We'll take a quick break. When we get back, we'll hear from Takeo Sido, head coach of the Seahawks. Stay with us. We're just getting started here. It is on YouTube from the Seahawk Digital Network Media Day for men's basketball. Stay with us. Again, Media Day here in Trask Coliseum. Mike Vaccaro back here. Takeo Siddle joins us now. Coach, already sixth season. Do you look back and has it gone so fast that you're to this point already?
Yeah, it has flown by, Mike. I've enjoyed every second. Just thinking about where we started at, COVID had hit. I've taken a job trying to build a program up on the internet, through Zoom. To being a champion now, I'm humbled, blessed, thankful. I love being a head coach here. It's been a great ride.
Before you turn the page to get ready for this year, were you able to look back and really, appreciate the journey that you had to get to that championship?
Honestly, Mike, not really. Not really. It comes at you so fast because as soon as you get done playing in Kansas, you're trying to put together your roster for next season. And so we haven't really had a chance to enjoy it the way that we wanted to. But, trying to get little small wins here and there, it's better than no wins. So it's been great, Mike. When you really think about it, it has been great. And, we're blessed to be in this position.
Well, let's talk about the roster there and constructing it. Probably a year where maybe you had to, get the most players ever, 9 new players on this team. What were you looking to accomplish with the players that you brought in?
Yeah, we always start first with high-character kids, and I think we really checked the box on that. And then just trying to upgrade at each position. We always wanted to, kind of model this team after the 2022 team that we had that won the CBI championship. And with that team, we had a lot of maturity. We had older guys that had size. We had versatility on the roster. So we wanted to mimic that roster a little bit and add some depth to it. And, I think we've done that.
Obviously, you've gone within the conference to get some talented players as well. Was that a goal of yours, or was it a goal of yours to get those kind of guys that maybe are familiar, obviously, with the league and this environment?
It wasn't strategic, Mike. A lot of people have asked me that, and we didn't do that by design. But I think it's a plus when you can bring guys in that you've scouted, that and we were able to do that. Those guys, they kind of know what UNCW is about a little bit. They've been here, they played here. And it's funny because I had a little relationship with every last one of them just from the respect that I have from playing them. But our coaches did a great job of identifying them. We recruited the heck out of them, got them on campus, and they fell in love with it, man. And that's just how it happened.
Well, the part maybe that was on purpose was size. This is a tall team, and you had a tall team last year, and you see the benefits of that. How much of a goal was that to make sure that you continue to have some size?
Well, we won the championship with a 7-footer down low, and then we came in with a 6'9" guy. And we have a 6'11" guy in McCoy. But we had big wings. And luckily we have those 2 guys back. We added some big guards with Madison and Christian. Those guys are big guards. And then, we added another 7-footer with Pat Wessler. So size was something that we wanted. We wanted to have switchable size and to be able to do a bunch of different things with the roster, different lineups. So that was definitely an emphasis when we went out recruiting this team.
In a year where you have 9 newcomers, how important are the returning guys to make sure they know truly what the culture is?
Yeah, they are the most important. You look at a guy like guys like Noah and Nolan who've been in the program going on year 4, guys that bleed teal, guys that understand what our culture is. They understand me and the staff. It makes my job a little easier. They've done a great job just embracing these guys, the new guys, and helping them get adjusted to our culture and how we do things. Can't say enough good things about him. And then Greedy Williams, he's really stepping up as a leader and somebody that's taking ownership in the program. So that makes me happy as a coach.
Nolan and Noah, are they becoming unicorns in college athletics these days? Again, 4 years dedicated and loyal to this program.
Yeah, it doesn't get any better than those 2 guys. They could have left after the season that they had last year, but they didn't even think about leaving. Those guys are family to me. I'm so appreciative of them. I put them in the same category as a guy like Shaquem Phillips, Donovan Newby, who spent some time with us, Jalen Sims, those type of guys. Those guys are culture guys and guys that I'll, have a relationship with for the rest of our lives.
Let's talk about the schedule a little bit. Obviously, at home, 20 home games, the most ever when you throw in the 2 exhibition games. But then you go on the road, and some of those games to some high-level, quote-unquote, mid-major programs. But what do you like about the non-conference schedule you were able to put together to get ready for conference play?
Yeah, we always want to challenge our guys in the non-conference. If you look back at the last 5 years, we've always put our guys in tough situations in the non-conference, and we've had a lot of success in the non-conference. I think we're close to 70% win percentage in non-conference games since I've been here. But we wanted to put together a challenging schedule that, would kind of mimic some teams in our league. And, having 20 home games is definitely a plus for us. But we wanted to go on the road and play teams like Kent State, who will have a chance to win their league. Radford, they'll have a chance to win their league. We wanted to play some really good mid-major opponents. And, my assistant, Kirk Kanaski, did a really good job putting it together.
Let's talk about the conference now. The coaches poll came out. Number 1, Towson. Number 2, UNCW. Then Charleston and William & Mary. So obviously you see some of the competition early on. What do you think about the league, the depth of the league this year?
Yeah, I think it'll be more depth, like you said, from top to bottom. It'll be competitive. Sometimes it's a little top heavy, but I don't think it'll be that way this year. I think every night's going to be a challenge. And, it's going to be good for us, Mike. It's going to be good for us because, I've been on the guys about being consistent with everything that they're doing. This league is a league full of good players, good coaches. So it's going to be challenging for us.
And let's talk about coaches here because I talked to some people, again, kind of the way things are in college athletics, you're going to have that turnover in players. But you've done a great job having consistency in your staff. How important has that been to the success that this program has had here under your tenure?
It's the most important thing. It is. A lot of guys ask me, maybe first-time head coaches, they ask me for advice, on how to build a program. And I always tell them, you better make sure your personnel's right. And not just the players, but your staff, your support staff. You better make sure that's intact. You have to have guys that you trust, guys that are loyal, guys that have a strong work ethic, guys that are not me guys. And I've been blessed to have staff continuity, for the last 5 years, and we wouldn't be in this position without them.
And then again, you throw in Trask Coliseum, the environment around here, some of the best that you're going to see, not just in the league, but across the country as well. What does that do for this program? And I'm sure you're hearing things, and you're hearing the excitement from the sidelines as you're coaching.
Yeah, it's special in a lot of ways. Other teams in our league don't have that. The majority of them don't have it. And, that's an advantage for us. Coming out here, seeing a sold-out arena every time you come in. It gives our guys energy. It gives them an appreciation for being in this environment and knowing that we have unbelievable community support, university support, and, our donor support is off the charts too. So, it's nothing short of special.
Finally celebrating the 75th season of UNCW basketball this year and having a chance to talk to a lot of former players and coaches. And for you to be, part of 3 championships, 3 of a record 7, what kind of pride does that give you? Again, 2 as an assistant coach and now 1 as a head coach.
Yeah, it gives me a lot of pride, Mike. It's very humbling. You always I talk about more so when, me being a head coach, you always have a vision of being able to cut the nets down and, galvanize the community, the university. And to be able to do it, it's really a dream come true for me. And, sometimes I have to pinch myself, Mike, and think that I'm dreaming a little bit. But it's one of those things, man, I really can't describe it. It's a feeling that, I wish everybody could experience.
Yeah, well, fans and you had a chance to do that last year. We'll see if that's around the corner this year as well, as the season we know is around the corner. Coach, just getting started here, season 6. Best of luck.
Thank you, Mike.
Again, Takeo Siddle, head coach, joining us. We'll take a break here again. More to come. Media Day inside Trask Coliseum. We'll hear from some of the players when we return. Well, we're joined now by one of the players you saw on that roster there, and one of the four-year guys, Nolan Hodge, joining us here. And Nolan, again, now a leader on this team. How excited are you coming off a championship to get another season going?
I'm excited, man. I mean, being back in this great city, all the fans, community, it's great. And then, the coaching staff, they really believed in me, and that's ultimately the reason I came back. I want to have a place I can call home, and this is it for me.
For you, coming off of maybe a breakout performance in the NCAA tournament, is that something that, is carrying you into this season with some confidence in some of the things you did shooting the basketball in that game?
I wouldn't say that's where my confidence comes from. I think, I put in the work daily, and I expect that of myself. And that night, the ball just happened to bounce my way. But I'd say it's mainly just the work I put in and just seeing it come to fruition.
You and Noah rarities these days, 4 years at one school. Why is it important for you to finish up where you started here?
Like I said earlier, I want to have a place where I can call home, leave a legacy. I could have left, but I didn't see that would be best for my long-term life. I could have had some short-term games, but just being here with the people, the community, the coaching staff, everybody believes in me, that was really important to me.
You guys are returners with 9 newcomers on this team. Does that put pressure on you to be the leaders and be the ones that let them know what the culture's like here?
I wouldn't say it's pressure, but there's definitely expectation to lead the way and show how it's done since we know it and we've been here. But no, I wouldn't say there's pressure.
Anything in particular you did in the off season to get ready for this year?
Not really. No, just stuck to my process. Got in the gym. I've been getting in the gym more every morning. I graduated, so now I'm in online school, so I can dedicate more of my time to the court. But no, nothing in particular, just trying to stick to my process.
Well, certainly congratulations on that. Again, with all these players here this year, who's pushing you in practice? Who are the ones that are maybe making you a better version of yourself?
Me and Christian May guard each other pretty much every day. We go at it, whether it's 1-on-1, 5-on-5, 4-on-4. So we're going at it every day, but, it's good competition, and, we're boys off the court. We hang out all the time, so it's good.
Yeah, what was it like, again, bringing in 4 guys in particular from kind of league rivals? What was that like for you as a player here with those guys?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say it was anything different than bringing in someone from out of conference. It just takes time to get to know these guys, but I'd say this group really gelled pretty quick. I'd say it's the closest group we've had since we've been here at this point, and we just try to keep on building that chemistry.
I know Coach kind of keeps you guys grounded, and you're looking at one day at a time. Do you know anything about your schedule, who you're playing this year, and some of the highlight matchups?
Really the only thing I know, someone asked me the other day when's our first game, and I couldn't answer it. I just know we have an exhibition October 18th versus High Point. Coach
would love that response there. Trask Coliseum, 20 games in here, including that exhibition with High Point. What is this place like when you're on the court?
It's crazy. I'm one of those people, I don't really hear a lot, but if you go back and watch the film, the students are always rocking. The community comes out, and it's special. You go to other places in the conference, and there's not many people there, but to be able to come here and have a place where the fans care about you and they want to see you win and support you, it's really important to me.
Talk with Coach. This is the 75th season of UNCW men's basketball, and to be able to be part of bringing championship basketball back. What does that mean to you in leaving your own legacy?
It's special, like after last year, I really became addicted to winning finally. I've always won here, but to win big, it's really fun. And, like for the 75th anniversary, there's a lot of people that came before me, so I'm glad we're showing them their respects. And, I've just been a small part of this program, but I hope to leave a lasting impact.
Obviously, it's you and it's Noah. You guys are inseparable from seems like day one here. What's it like to be, out there with him and you guys spend these 4 years together and go out together?
Yeah, I'd say just our chemistry on the court. I know where he's going to be. He knows where I'm going to be. We can play really well off each other. So, it's special. And, we came in together as the only two freshmen at that time. And, we stuck it out to now. So I feel like that's rare, but it's important to what we have going here.
At that time, rewind back to your freshman year, could you have envisioned you guys being as tight as you are? And again, so many things that you guys do together?
Yeah, I mean, we clicked pretty quick. Like I said, we were the only two freshmen, so we lived away from everybody else. It was just us. If it was a hard practice, we were the only people around. So, I think when you're put in tough situations with good people, it really helps build your chemistry. You
had a chance to climb the ladder, cut the nets in D.C. Do you put that back in your mind on what that would be like to do that a second time as a senior?
Oh, for sure. I'm not going to sit up here and lie and say that that wouldn't be cool, but there's a lot of things that goes into it, and March is a long ways away, and we still have a lot of work to do. So it's really just focusing on what we have right now and how we can get better today.
Lastly, are your parents ready for this to be your last season? How are they doing getting ready? Because they're here at every game, on the road at home, and they follow your career very tightly.
Yeah, their support to me, it's really pushed me through a lot of things. I would say no. My mom for definitely sure isn't ready for it to be over, but I think they're going to enjoy the ride, and it's been a good 4 years here, and so we want to end it on a good note. Yeah,
we don't want it to be over either, but excited about the journey ahead this season. Nolan Hodge, thank you for spending a little time with us.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Again, one of the senior leaders on this team, Nolan Hodge, joining us. We'll take a break. Noah Ross standing by. We'll hear from him coming up next. Stay with us. Again, Night of Champions coming fast. Get your tickets for that. Should be one special night with those 4 championship-winning coaches on one stage all together. Well, a championship player now to my left. It's Noah Ross joining us here. Like Nolan Hodge, he is a 4-year guy and one of the leaders here. And when you hear that, what goes through your mind that you're a 4-year guy and you're really a leader on this team?
I don't know, man. I'm just super grateful to hear that, to be here and, be able to experience the Wilmington community. And, honestly, I've told Nolan, I've told Coach, if I could pick Wilmington over, I would 1,000 more times. So yeah, just super grateful. It's weird. It's full circle, coming back here. And I remember doing this with you my freshman year, and now to be here, I don't know, just grateful for it all.
Well, in D.C., you had a chance to cut down the nets as a champion. What was that moment like, and how much does that drive you going into this year?
That was super rewarding. Probably the most rewarding experience I've had in my whole athletic career. Just to see all that work pay off, 3 years of work really pay off in that moment was all worth it. And so I think having a taste of that has, the returners even hungrier to get back there. And I think we've done a pretty good job of, showing the new guys kind of the way and, just how we do everything here.
You've always been a vocal guy and a leader. Where does that come from for you?
I don't know. I think that's kind of just my personality. I'm a little more outspoken, more outgoing than Nolan. He's more of a lead by example type of guy. But yeah, I mean, it's been a focal point for me. You know, we have a lot of new guys coming in, a lot of familiar faces in the conference. So kind of just taking them under my wing, and we've been here for going on 4 years now, so we know how Coach operates. We know how he runs. So kind of just taking them under our wing and showing them how we do stuff.
Yeah, this is probably the most turnover from season to season with 9 newcomers coming in. Did it put pressure on you at all to make sure these guys knew what the culture was like here?
I don't think so. I think having a lot of guys, transfer from in-conference helped. They've seen our style of play. They've played against us, some of them for a number of years. So that helped. They kind of fell in line. They knew what to expect. They've been in Trask. They know the environment. So I think that'll definitely be a leg up for us moving forward.
What did you do in the offseason to get ready for this year? Was there any particular part of your game that you wanted to improve upon going into your senior season?
Yeah, I mean, I would say my shooting was a point of emphasis. I shot it well my freshman and sophomore year, and then last year after that thumb injury on my shooting hand was kind of in my head from that point on through the rest of the year. But that was a point of emphasis for me moving forward. But kind of the biggest thing was, just being a leader and bringing these guys along. Kind of something that I was preaching to them is if everyone's looking out for each other and, worrying about each other's success, how can I get Nolan going? How can I get Madison going? How can I get Pat going? Before I get myself going, it'll always naturally come back around to find yourself. So. You're
a guy throughout your career, you've been banged up here and there because of the way you play. Do you change the way you play, or is that something that you kind of live with and try to avoid those injuries?
Yeah, I think that's just kind of something I got to live with and try to avoid. That's just who I am and what I do when I go out there. So definitely excited to bring it back out for year 4. But yeah, it's just part of me now.
I'm sure you're excited to play here in Trask Coliseum, 20 home games starting with that High Point game on the 18th. What's it like as a player on the floor when this place is going crazy?
It's electric. That's one thing that I'm going to miss the most, and kind of one of the things that I'm going to be on myself to take in more, while I'm here for my last year. But it's like none other. I haven't gone to another mid-major environment that even sniffs being, similar to it.
The 4 guys that transferred from within the league, had they talked to you about what it was like for them to come here?
Yeah, they all mentioned some things that the student section had said to them, some good, some not so good. So that was kind of funny to hear. But yeah, they definitely got a taste of it. I don't think they got to see all of it. So they're definitely excited to get out here as well.
I asked Nolan, do you allow yourself to think about cutting down the nets for a second time and ending up a career, back-to-back champions and back to the NCAA tournament? Do you let that in your head at all?
I would say it's in the back of my mind. It's not something that I focus on. Coach has done a good job of, kind of training me and Nolan to be about our process, and he always says to be great at the next thing. So that's kind of, what we're focusing on, from day to day. But, that's obviously the goal. So, I think that's something we'll worry about more come March. We got a whole slew of things to get done now. But in the meantime, yeah, I think it's healthy to have it in the back of your mind.
I asked Nolan as well. Your parents, like his parents, are here at every game. Are they ready for one last ride here? What's going through their minds? I'm sure you've talked to them about this senior season.
Yeah, they're definitely ready for it. They've been super supportive. Have been to almost every game, home and away. Love both of them, but I think they'll definitely be ready to take it all in. Like you said, I think we have a school record for a number of home games, so they'll be here for all of them. So I'm excited to see them here.
All right, we're excited to get things started. Noah Ross, thanks for your time today. You get the ring today too, as well.
I got the ring.
You're showing it off. So the rewards for winning a championship last year and cutting the nets down in D.C. Something again he hopes to do once again. We'll take another break. Back to wrap things up next. Media Day here in Trask Coliseum for UNCW men's basketball. Stay with us. We're back after this. You saw there a typical and usual luncheon at Buffalo Wild Wings happening on October 13th, that Monday. You'll have a chance to hear from both coaches, Takeo Siddle and Nicole Woods from the women's basketball program, to share about their program and their players as well. Well, again, 20 home games this season and an exciting schedule all the way around as we take a look at the home schedule here inside Trask Coliseum. More home games than ever before. It all starts with some exhibition games against High Point on October 18th, and then Francis Marion. It'll tip off for real against Mount Olive on November 3rd. But some great games highlighted there non-conference-wise, especially ECU back in town. Always a big rival, even though they're not in the league anymore. Marshall's back here as well. So some great home games. And then you look at the conference slate. You're going to be playing, obviously, College of Charleston here. That's become the big rival for UNCW. Campbell here, A&T. One game that won't be here will be Towson, the preseason favorite with the coaches poll. There will be only one meeting with the Towson Tigers, and that will be on the road in Maryland. But 20 chances to see this men's basketball program throughout the year. Expectations very high this season. So if you don't have those tickets, get those tickets now. UNCWsports.com/buy tickets to make sure your seat is reserved here in Trask Coliseum. It should be an electric environment throughout the season. We hope to see you here as, again, things should be a lot of fun this year with this talented squad getting ready to tip things off for real on November 3rd, the exhibition on October 18th. So another media day is over here in Trask Coliseum, but the season right around the corner. And again, it should be a lot of fun this year with these new faces and certainly the returning players led by Nolan Hodge and Noah Ross. Thank you for joining us today. For Riley Nance behind the scenes, I'm Mike Vaccaro. We appreciate you watching us, and we'll see you throughout the season on Flow Sports on the Breeze as well. Have a great day, everybody.